a free day. So we're like, yay, our conversation is going to go on. It's going to happen now. So the last time we met, we had a conversation about how to attain excellence. And we did that with Mrs. Margaret Chimaika. She's a CEO, coach, consultant, and director of a number of businesses. And it was a build up from our conversation on why we're unable to stick to our New Year's goals and resolutions. And as part of our whole January resolutions, and it's a new month or new vibe and everything, so we're continuing that conversation, and we're taking a look at building a strong personal brand for yourself. I'll introduce my guest pretty shortly, but before I do that, my name is aKorfa. I am sitting in for Inimwe Nimado, and we're doing this alongside Mirabel Johnson as well. So for the next 60 minutes, we'll be doing this together. So a few takeaways from our last conversation, and Mrs. Techimaika started off by talking to us about a book. Now, the book was by Sam Parker and Mark Anderson, 212 Degrees, the Extra Degree. And there was a part that she actually emphasized on about 1 degree of change can impact the rest of the things you do. And another takeaway had to do with lack of self-worth or self-belief is a reason why people don't show excellence in their dealings. And she went on to say that you have to believe in yourself for you. So there's a thing about when people, around you believe in yourself, they give you the encouragement and everything, but what happens to you if you do not believe in yourself for you? At the end of the day, there's just so much that you can do at the end of it all. So that is also a takeaway. And if you want to be 1 degree better, you have to decide and plan towards it. And it has to be now and not tomorrow. And then she also talked about Karen Lamb, and there's a quote by Karen Lamb that she likes, and she shared that with us, and had to do with a year from now, you would have wished you started now. And then get mentors to help in your journey to attain excellence. Get people who have been where you are and learn from them. Join groups, associations that seek to help you gain the knowledge you require to get to a certain level in your life. And there are very good material you can also get online as well. And as a mentee, don't expect your mentor to come to you. You have expressed your desire to be mentored, and so the onus lies on you to make the move. And then also, sometimes people want to do their best only when it comes with a wage increase. That part, I think a lot of people were smiling to that pointer because, well, yeah, times are hard. So when you promise me a wage increase, at the end of the day, it will give me morale to really do my best. But yeah, that's just by the way. And then also, she touched on mindset change. When you encounter a setback while attaining excellence, it's the resources within that will keep you going. And a few more pointers before we get into today's conversation. A good support system. Find people who will cheer you on and will also let you know when you're going astray. That's very important. And avoid naysayers. So when they say it won't give, when they say it, don't believe it. Allow them to say what they want to say, but then deep down within you, you know what you want to achieve and the plan for yourself, and so you go ahead and you work towards it. And it's okay to be frustrated. Give yourself a break in this period, but don't stay there. Learn to be resilient, she added on, and so adapt, reframe, and reset. And what she meant by that is when you're used to a certain lavish lifestyle and you're unable to attain such, lifestyles any longer, learn to live within your means with what you've got. And if you've never failed before, you won't know what success looks like. Finally, don't be complacent in your journey to attaining excellence. When you attain excellence, make sure to keep it. And that had to do with our question about would you be able to maintain or keep that certain level of excellence that you've already attained? And she's like, why would you not want to, be excellent at every level of your life? And so, yeah, that's how we arrived at these pointers. But yes, so if you're just joining us, you're welcome. It's Strong and Sassy on Joy 99.7 FM. My producer, Mirabel Johnson, hi, shouts to you, says to relax. So, so we were going all the way to 60 minutes. I mentioned earlier we'll wrap up at 8. Join in the conversation and share your thoughts with us. Our WhatsApp is 055 1111 997. That's 055 1111 997. Now, joining me today for our conversation, very beautiful ladies, I might add, and they're well put together. I should also add that one. So hello to Akosia Asiedua Asari Brewu. She's an actress, she's a content creator as well. Hi Akosia, you good?
Hi aKorfa, I'm good.
Yeah, all composed. Yeah, good evening to you. And shouts going out to your dad. I understand your dad is a huge fan of everything Joy FM.
Yes.
We appreciate that. We appreciate that. And also Miss Ifya Chumwa Barfor. She's a business growth and personal branding coach. You're welcome as well.
Thank you.
Have you had a good day today? I hope. Yeah, it's
Had
been a good day.
wonderful day.
Okay, great. Now, ladies, so today we're delving into basically how to carve a niche for yourself, or basically how to build a brand, a personal brand for yourself. And we'll be looking at it from different categories. I'd like us to take a look at, authenticity and self-discovery. So basically different angles or different, categories basically. Now, Agosia is a content creator. Let me start off with you.
Okay.
Like, how did you know, or when did you decide that, okay, well, I think I can, when I put a camera together and I do ABC, I can do this.
Okay.
Yeah, tell me about that journey.
Okay, so one thing that is most encouraging for anybody who wants to get into the content creation industry, for lack of a better word, is if you have numbers. Okay, that's not the only thing, but it's one of the things.
Okay.
If you realize that, you have quite an audience who would listen to what you have to say to them, it's more of a stepping stone, like, towards you wanting to get into the content creation space. Because, I have people who listen to me, and people who might take my recommendations, or people who would watch the kind of content I put out. And so that's one of the reasons, because it's like, I have these numbers. I can actually make a difference. I can actually do something with these numbers that I have. And so for me, that was one of the things that encouraged me into going into content creation. And that aside, I realized that, and not to be vain, I like to be in front of a camera a lot. Yeah, and so I felt like, okay, if I have the numbers and I could be in front of the camera, then I could combine these two things to, create something, make a difference, make a change,
Right.
So yeah, that's how I got into it.
Before I come to, before I come to Bafo, can I call you that?
No, Miss Ifya.
Miss Ifya. She was so emphatic. No, Miss Ifya. Miss Ifya, I'll come to you shortly. But I want to find out, to anyone out there who doesn't know what your content entails, can you give us a little background? Do you do makeup stuff? What are you using to do for the content?
I started off with travel most often at the time. I was doing travel content. That's how I wanted to start, actually. And so my main focus was to travel to places in Ghana that people didn't really pay attention to, and create content, raise awareness that, if you go to this part of Eastern region, you find this waterfall there. If you go here, you find this there. And then I got a job, a 9 to 5. Yeah. So it became a little hard to keep up with that.
Okay.
It doesn't mean I have stopped, but there's just a little bit of lifestyle in addition to that. They are not too far apart. So there's a little bit of lifestyle content creation in addition to the travel stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. Miss Ifya, so you are a business growth and personal branding coach.
Yeah.
How would you begin this conversation? For instance, someone comes to you and says, I don't know anything about personal branding. So if we're talking about personal branding, what do we mean, and how do I even start?
Right.
What would you say to such a person?
Well, basically, personal branding is identifying yourself from the crowd.
Okay.
And personal branding started right from childbirth. Our parents gave us a particular name so that we can be identified differently. So I am Miss Ifya, and there are thousands of Ifyas and Miss Ifyas out there. What makes me stand out from the thousand of Miss Ifyas or Ifyas out there is my personal brand.
Okay.
So most people know me to be a coach, and even before they call me Miss Ifya, they call me brand coach.
Okay.
Yes, because that's how I started out. So basically, to start a personal brand, you just need to identify what you want to do and what you want to be known for.
So I get that, but I think where the challenge is for a lot of people is being able to identify what they're good at. Also try to weigh in how much is too much to put out there, basically on let's use social media for example. if you'd want to promote, say, the fact that you have a good voice. And maybe you want to do an show a content where you're sweeping your room and you're singing, and then you don't want people to see your room, and like, how then does the person know that I want to share, but I don't have to share too much as well? Is there like a strategy to this that you can share?
Well, before I get to your question, identifying what you want to do in the first place.
It's a big deal.
You shouldn't overthink it, actually.
You think so?
Yeah. You are the brand. That is what we forget. You are unique in your own way. There are lots of Coca-Cola on the market. What makes Coca-Cola, the original Coca-Cola, and Bell Cola different? Right? That is, you are you. You are unique. We can look the same, but we can never be the same. That is why you have like identical twins, and then you see that, oh, this is like this, and the other is like that.
Okay.
And people are able to tell their difference based on certain behavior traits, based on certain things they acquire or possess, right? So before having a personal brand, before thinking, okay, I want to have a personal brand, just know that you are just unique in your own way.
Okay.
And then you're looking at things that come to you easily to actually build on. So there are some people who have like a whole lot of hobbies. They have like a number of them, and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Okay.
Start with one thing.
They're spoiled for choice.
You know, right? Start with one thing. Like, look, don't overthink the whole process. I think most of us, when we want to build personal brands, we actually overthink the whole process. I think 2 weeks ago I was on a call with a client who is into hair, and then she was like, I want to build a personal brand, but I do not want to build a personal brand in my hair industry.
Okay.
I want to be known for something different. I said, of course, you can be known for something different and still own a business. I own a surprise company, and a lot of people know me for that. But aside that, they know me as a coach as well.
Okay.
So before you get into wanting to build your personal brand, the first step is to identify what you want to do. And then what comes to you easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, we need to get to the point where we stop overthinking all these things.
Well, of course, yeah. When someone, first off asks you, what do you understand by personal branding, basically? How would you explain it to the person? Or how do you understand it, first off?
Okay. Personal branding is, to me, what I want to be known by. If somebody mentions my name somewhere, somebody should be able to say, oh, this is the person who does this.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the person who is this. And most of the time, I strive for it to be something good, because personal branding is not always good.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. That there are people that you mention their name and it's always something that is not very good.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, like I said, to me, personal branding is what people know me by. People should be able to say, oh, this lady is known by this, or she's known for this. Yes,
okay.
exactly.
Well, if you're just joining us, you're welcome. It's Strong and Sassy on Joy 99.7. It's 7:20, and we're going all the way till 8. We're having a conversation about how to build personal brand, basically. And joining me have that conversation is aKorfa. She is an actress and a content creator. I've got Miss Na as well joining. Miss Ifia also joining in the conversation. And first of all, we've touched about what our understanding of personal branding is. I was getting to the authenticity part. How should you present yourself to your audience, and then to anyone who you'd want to come into contact with, basically?
Right. So I want us to establish one thing.
Yeah.
Personal branding is not just on social media.
Absolutely, yeah.
A lot of people think, oh, it's just social media. It is not. So as I came in, I'm going to give an example. As I came in, and then I saw aKorfa, and I decided, I look at her and I'm like, and I come and sit down. Right. What is aKorfa going to think of me? aKorfa, what would you think of me?
No, she's rude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, she's got attitude.
Exactly. Like, she's not a people's person, right? Yeah. But then if I came in, I'm like, hi, aKorfa, I've seen you on social media.
Yeah.
Oh, I love what you're doing. I'm so glad I'm meeting you. How would you feel?
Yeah, that's a very welcoming person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So people actually forget that personal branding is not social media only. And then
I think we take it. We need to reiterate that.
exactly, like I really need to reiterate that,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you meet people, like you see people online, you meet them in person, you're like,
Oh, there's a disparity.
yeah,
This
like
is not what you
you're
like.
like, this is not what I signed up for. Hello, who are you? What did you do with the other person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so people need to understand that whoever you are on social media, you should be able to be that person in person.
Wow.
Yes. So that is where authenticity comes in.
Okay.
You need to be authentic to the point where you on social media and you in real life, there's no difference. Like,
Okay.
even if there's a difference, maybe you have people have private lives. You can be private, but you should make sure that whatever you are on social media, whoever you say you are on social media, should reflect in your daily life. There's some people, you meet them on social media, they're so friendly. In real life, they are frowning from morning to evening, and it's like the whole world is against them.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's quite disturbing, because then people term that as settings. I'm using settings because that's what
That's
we
the
are.
term that we're using now. Yeah.
People term that as settings, and then it gets to a point where you're like, okay, social media is not even real. So people who are being real, people who are being themselves, are not being believed in, because then, this person just spoils the market for us, right? But then, if you are able to be that person you are on social media, in real life, and I meet you, I'll be inspired. I'll be happy to also get into that space where I want to be myself, and not want to do settings on social media, because honestly speaking, the settings is too much.
Interesting. So you want to add on to
Yeah,
that?
with regards to the personal branding bit, being outside of social media, 100% agree. People would take you seriously in person immediately they see you, what you look like. And so that's why I always advise people to dress the way they want to be addressed.
Yeah.
Funny enough, you just took the wind out of my soul. That was exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah, I think you should be able to dress the way you want to be addressed, because whether you like it or not, somebody might not want to judge you,
But they have
but
to.
in their subconscious, the person is like, oh, who is this? It's like you're expecting this whole someone to walk in, and then I enter and I'm wearing flip-flops and I come and sit here. Like, I mean, you might not say anything, but in your head, you're like, who is this?
Right.
It doesn't speak very well of you. If you're somebody that, like I said, you want to be known as, let's say, a lady. Like, everybody, you know that there's some particular women, that's what everybody would say about them.
Elegant
This
ladies.
person is a classy lady, is an
Very
elegant
elegant.
lady.
Sophisticated.
Exactly. I think as a lady, if that is what somebody has to say about you, I think it's a really good compliment for somebody to say you and see you and say, oh, I think you're a classy lady or you are elegant. And that the first thing, the person doesn't even have to hear you speak. You might have the nastiest attitude, but the way you are dressed is what is going to make somebody even respect you in the head. The person might not even speak to you. The person might just see you in passing. But the
Right.
way you are dressed in a person's mind, and like you said, attitude. You know, you have a nasty attitude. No, nobody wants to associate with people like that. You know, when you're walking, you know, there's so many things that I think go into personal branding. Like
A
when you're
lot.
walking
A whole lot.
and you walk with your shoulders high and you're not sluggish. You know, you're walking and you're exuding confidence. Everybody sees you and it's like, who is this?
Right.
I want to be this person's friend, or I want to be like this person.
Yeah.
And all of that contributes so much to a person's personal branding. Yeah.
Right. So I just wanted to stay a little bit on the part about, you know, the way you are in, you know, outside of social media and all of that. There are some people who also believe that sometimes, you know, you can give off a very excited, very bubbly self on social media, and then someone will meet you in person. Maybe the person just caught you on a bad day.
Yeah.
Doesn't also necessarily mean that's how you're. But then there are some people who would also misconstrue that to mean that, oh, this person is just nice on social media, but they're not nice in person. How do you reconcile, like, you know, such
Balance
instances?
that,
Yeah.
right. So I'd always say that once, as human beings, as we are, let's acknowledge the fact that we are human beings.
Yeah.
Like, we are allowing society to define certain things for us, which is so not okay. we are humans. You can have a bad day.
Right.
You can have a crazy day. You can be going through something, and it will affect you so bad that someone will see you and be like, what's happening?
Right.
But then it shouldn't be so different from what they see on social media. The people on social media should be able to identify the fact that you are human and they need to cut you some slack.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then, whatever they're seeing in real life and whatever they're seeing on social media
should have some semblance.
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, you can tell when someone is having a bad day.
You can't be so different.
Yeah.
Even if you're having a bad day.
It's a natural
yeah.
you. That is why it's important to be authentic. Then you are, it's something you wear every day.
Okay.
Right? So it's not difficult to be that person. But if you are different on social media and you're different in real life, that means you have to always find a balance.
Yeah.
And then you're always like trying to be the person you're on social media in real life. It's not working. You would be caught off guard one day.
One day.
Like one day you will show your true colors.
will show.
Exactly. Your true colors will show, and someone will be like, hey, is that how you are? Exactly.
And you know the thing about social media, the moment one word gets out, like cancel culture sets in. So if you don't take care, you might not recover from such a
someone caught you in a bad mood and everybody else wants to prove that is in fact how you are.
Yeah, and they
see a celebrity and then the celebrity maybe had a bad day, was in a bad mood, and so they didn't receive you the way you thought the person would, and then that's it, you start a smear campaign. And there are some people who actually chose, and whether they were there or not, they would have to say something. Yeah. And for that's not how you even are. It was really just a bad day. But like you said, if you have two very different characters, like on social media you're a type, online you're a type, obviously in person what you really are will come out. It means that when you're angry or you have a bad day in person, it's going to be nastier. There are some people who could have a bad day, but they are even still respectful in the way they go about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody would be in a bad mood, but they wouldn't even say certain things to you. But somebody who's used to doing things like that, unladylike things like that, wouldn't have a problem saying certain things to you when they have a bad day. So
I get that. So the quote about dress the way you want to be addressed. So when we're talking about branding and the whole journey, the personal branding and everything, are we talking about the way you look in clothes?
Personal branding is everything. Like your look, the way your posture, the way you talk, the way you present yourself. And I want to say this, personal branding is just not for celebrities, entrepreneurs, and business owners. Even people who have careers, professionals. Recently, I was trying to hire a PA. And one of the things that I was looking at is the way the person dresses, because honestly speaking, yes.
Yeah.
The way the person dresses and then the person's social media. So I would take your CV. I have your CV. But when I get on a call with you, I'm asking you what your social media is. Funny enough, I met this lady, very good. She knew what she was about. Then I was like, what is your social media? Because then I want to see, I'm taking your LinkedIn, your Instagram, your TikTok.
Your everything.
Twitter.
Well, I really am not a Twitter person.
Oh, you should be. Twitter.
Right.
X, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, can I have your Instagram and your LinkedIn? Because those are the most important places for me to see. Then I go to her Instagram and she has something like talking about... Well, it's quite sensitive. Like it was something nasty. Then I knew I didn't want to work with such a person.
Goodness me.
Yeah, she lost the job. She was so good at what she did, but her social media just threw me off. Yes. And that a lot of people do not understand that now your social media is actually your portfolio.
Yeah.
A lot of people do not get it. And I always tell my clients I coach, I'm like, listen, even if you not for anything, have a good social media account. Like, make sure it looks presentable.
Okay.
And then make sure that you are presenting it in a way that when someone goes there, because they just hear your name and they are going on social media.
Absolutely.
I saw
aKorfa
on the flyer. I'm like going to a social media. I'm like, who's this girl?
Yeah.
I've never heard of her. So let me look at her.
And then you saw the host and you're like, oh, let me check aKorfa.
Like, rest assured, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that is me. The first place I'm going to is your Instagram. I'm going to your LinkedIn or your Instagram to check who you are.
Right.
And it sort of gives me an idea of who you are, the way you think, the kind of person you are.
That's true.
So even if you're not that kind of person, I'm sorry.
Social
Yeah.
media
But
has-
that's my first point of contact. Before I met you in person, maybe you were a nice person in person, but on social media you fought with someone
You're
and it's all over there,
trolling,
and you're
yeah.
trolling people and you're insulting people and you have videos, and you're saying all sorts of things. When I see it, I'm like, no, I don't want to be associated with this
something
girl.
like this,
And I can easily cancel coming to a show with someone like that because I do not want to be associated with
that
it.
person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Personal branding. And recently I was telling my friend that even personal branding by association can hurt you or make you.
That's true.
And now we're in an era where it's who you know. So imagine I know aKorfa. aKorfa is rude. aKorfa is this, aKorfa is that. And then
But aKorfa is not rude, guys.
I'm sorry, girl. You are not rude. Well, and then I'm like telling someone that, oh, aKorfa is my friend. The person will start thinking,
Yeah.
aKorfa is your friend. Then it means you're rude.
Yeah, you ought to have found something in common.
Yes.
That's why you're friends.
That's why that's why we're friends.
Exactly. Best of the team feathers.
Yeah.
So I always say that when it comes to personal branding, we should take it seriously. And I think it's something that we need to even start teaching the kids
Yeah.
in
Okay.
school.
When you
Yeah.
say teaching the kids, let's start from there. So how then do you begin? Like what's your first point of call? Like how are you starting in the first place?
So my school, I went to Light Academy when I was a kid.
Okay.
And that school, please, you can't be caught not dressed properly. You can't.
With your white and orange.
Oh,
Or wasn't the
exactly.
orange?
Yeah, white and
I went to
orange.
the
And
youngsters,
even though
so
oh, okay.
we're close.
And even that, when we were kids, we had a uniform that had like a striped,
Okay.
and it was straight, like a straight dress, right? And then it has the whole thing here. And I remember our proprietress was so classy. So imagine we seeing our proprietress like that. And then I always look at her. She had this black and white hair. I loved her so much. And then I'll always look at her. I'm like, oh, Miss Aitia is so beautiful. And growing up, we had like teachers grooming us, telling us, oh, you can't do this. You can't do that. And tell you what, as a kid, I was one of the loudest kids in the class. I was so loud, so stubborn. And then they were, oh, if you're too loud, if you come down, da 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 da. I didn't know what they were telling me. But guess what? I grew up and I'm like, these people weren't playing. They weren't playing. They were teaching me the right things, right? So we do not necessarily have to take the kids to the classroom and say, oh, you need to do this way. You need to talk like this. You need to do this. But the little things we can instill in them growing up,
Yeah.
then they are able to know that, okay, I want to be identified in a certain way. And then there was this group, Girls Guide.
I was a girls guide. Yeah.
Girl.
Start from Anansi guide and
Yes,
then you
then
become
girls
a girl
guide.
guide. Yeah.
Wow.
And being a girl guide, please,
They teach you
please.
everything.
Everything a girl needs to know. And then I'm like, Girls Guide I don't know where Girls Guide went to, but I wish Girls Guide was around to still guide these kids because it was giving you exposure. You were going for excursions. You're going for
camps.
you're meeting other people, and it makes you articulate in a certain way. It makes you be able to put yourself out there. You don't become
Confidence, one of the
a
things it
shy
teaches.
kid. Yeah, you don't become
Confidence,
a shy kid, and then you are like able to talk, express yourself and
yourself, yeah.
everything, and it helped. So as we are coming up, as we have kids coming up, if we're able to instill some of these things, if we're able to have these clubs available for them to even join and learn some of these things, I think it will help, because personal branding really starts from childhood. Because someone can say, oh, that's the kid who doesn't respect, and that's your personal brand till you grow up.
It's
Yeah,
like,
it's
trust
going to
me,
be a
yeah.
tag.
Do
Everybody
something
knows
about
that.
Yeah.
Well, Crystal here, Strong and Sassy on Joy 99.7 FM. Joining if you've got questions, if you've got comments to add on to our WhatsApp, that's 055 11 11 997. Later on, we'll activate the phone lines for you to call in and share your thoughts with us about, our conversation for today, building a strong personal brand for yourself. Now, Kosia, so you have been in the content creation business for a while. Let me throw this one at you. Have you been contacted by, a brand to work with? And if that has been the case, what did you think you did, quote unquote, right, for want of a better expression, right, for them to approach you to want to do business with you? You might decide not to mention the brand name. That's fine.
What did I do right? Wow, that's a
$1 million question.
Tough one. I'd like to believe that most of my contents are well thought. I don't just put anything out there. Before I put anything onto my social media, I think hard and I think, if I post something and after a while I realize that, aside, I'm not even saying I put things that aren't good, but there's certain things that you want there's a way, like, for lack of a better word, like a mood board, what you want your social media to look like. And so I'm very particular about the kind of things that I post. So even with regards to your question, there are some brands that I've refused to work with, sorry, because they just don't fit what I want to do at this time. And it's not even just brands, even films.
Okay.
I told you earlier that since 2019, I have only done 2 projects.
Yes.
And that is not because I haven't been approached by any producers or directors. It's just because I'm wary or I'm particular about the kind of things that I want to be associated with or featured on. And so I'd like to believe that aside, I also generate good numbers as well. That's the one thing I think brands look out for. Yeah, as long as you're able to generate a form of engagement for them.
With the numbers, because I'll come to you, Miss Ifya, about that bit as well. That's if you've got, some insight to show on that. But you do the content creation and all of that. So with the numbers, there are people who believe that, you go and, buy a page, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes it's quite depressing when you know that you're doing something quite good and you're expecting people to react to, and then you wake up in the morning and then 2 people have unfollowed you.
Oh
and
my
people,
goodness!
Like how are you mentally, juggle? How are you doing it?
Do you know the painful thing
Tell
about
me.
content creation? There are some things that no thought went into. You post something and that's what will get them. And sometimes I post certain things and I'm like, deleting soon. And you realize that that's the post that has the most numbers on your page. So how am I going to delete this? And then there's some content. Like a few months ago, I went to the Ashanti region and I did some content on Galamsey. So I spoke to some Galamsey workers. I got some videos. I had some of them speak to me about the process. I was able to film the whole process from the extraction to the amalgamation. It was so much work and I was so excited because I felt like, this is going to
the
do
conversation, the activism,
exactly.
And all of that.
This is going to do good numbers. Oh my God, I was disappointed. That the kind of engagement I was expecting to get from that much work wasn't what I got. And it's a little disappointing. I know that.
Yeah.
But the thing about social media, especially TikTok and Instagram, that you would get to know is consistency.
Okay.
And that's because of Instagram's algorithm. The more you post, the more they show your content to other people. Right now, Instagram's algorithm is in such a way that even people you follow, Instagram will not show their posts to you.
Yeah.
And they will be showing you posts.
Sponsored ads.
Exactly.
And
even posts from viral.
Exactly.
So it's like, that is what Instagram will promote. As long as your post is doing well, Instagram will make other people see it. They don't care about the work you put into your video. As long as it's gained some traction, Instagram will push it the more. Exactly. A few days ago, I posted a picture. Not a few days ago, like maybe 2 weeks, I posted a picture. And really, it was a very basic, ordinary picture. I really just posted it because your page has to be a bit active. Otherwise it would be dormant, obviously. And so I posted this picture. I was speaking into a microphone with my head bent and everything. And I have almost 20,000 likes on this picture.
Wild.
And a picture that I actually put effort into would do 3,000 or 2,000.
What did
and
I
I'm
do
like,
wrong?
or what did I do right
Yeah.
for this particular picture to get? And so the activity on my Instagram has been so much. I have so many people following, and I'm like, what went right? What
Yeah.
is different about this? So content creation in particular is very sketchy. You know, there's some people who
Yeah.
have already established their
Yeah,
audience.
yeah,
They
yeah.
know what their audience wants. They've hacked it. That's the word I want to use. They've hacked the content creation, and so immediately they put a post up, they know the numbers that the post is going
I
to
see.
do already. And so if you don't really know this, you put out content and you'll be disappointed each time, because it's like, what am I doing wrong? I'm
Yeah.
doing this, I'm doing that, but still
Nothing
where
is
I am is
happening.
where I am.
Yeah.
But the first thing that I know is consistency.
Consistency,
As long
right.
as you're consistent, Instagram may help you if you
I
want.
agree, because I
Yeah.
think not too long ago I was posting a lot on my Facebook, I think, and then I got a notification that we've expanded your reach. I was like, you've expanded my reach. Wow. I've been posting and I've been posting and you're expanding my reach. But yeah, so when you're talking about personal branding, though, how are we, as an individual, how are you able to translate that to online presence? Basically, I'm talking about the corporate, woman, basically, because for a content creator, you obviously know that you have to have an online presence. But this is for you, Miss Na. Miss Ifya, what is happening? Probably
This
spoke to a
Miss Na has-
probably spoke to a Miss Na before I got on the show today. But Miss Ifya, so like for a corporate person who's looking to, have some online traces, basically. What would you encourage them to do? What do they have to know, and how much is too much that they have to weigh their options before they post certain things on social media? How can you advise?
Well, you remember I said when I was trying to look for a personal assistant,
Yeah.
I went on their socials. Now, most entrepreneurs, most business owners actually look at these things as well.
Okay.
And once you're working somewhere, I know that there are policies that do not allow you to post certain things
Certain
on
things,
social
that's
media, but in your career, what do you know? What can you share?
Right.
It can be as simple as what you wear to work. And
Get
it will
ready with me.
inspire someone. Because when I want to dress, I'm on Pinterest.
Yeah.
I am always on Pinterest. So
Yes.
imagine there's someone in Ghana, right, who always posts their look, their work look on Pinterest.
That's true.
And I get an inspiration
Inspiration
from there.
from that.
I've interacted with her content because obviously I would tap on the picture, even try and download it onto my phone. So it shouldn't be too wild. It shouldn't be something you don't have to come and share your views if you do not have anything to say. You can keep
Yeah.
quiet,
Yeah.
but still show up online. It can be just your pictures.
We know someone who is actually, I'm not too sure if it's a millionaire or billionaire, but there's
The
a
guy.
who just comes in and uses his eyes and that's
and he
about
made
it.
money.
Yeah.
He's now a millionaire or
yeah,
billionaire.
yeah.
I don't know, but he's made crazy money out of that.
That's true.
You have a career doesn't mean it's limiting you from showing up on social
Yeah.
media.
Right.
You are a professional doesn't mean it's limiting. And I know one of the professions that is really difficult to even put yourself out there is one of them is being a doctor, because obviously you can't even show who is your patient or what.
Absolutely.
But there are a lot of doctors doing well online these days because
Pro doctor, for instance.
exactly.
Yeah.
And they are sharing views on certain things that we as people, we as human beings ask questions about. Want to know about. So if I go on social media and I'm getting like informative content like that from you,
I'll stay with you.
I am staying with you. I am following you. Yes.
Okay. Now, let's talk about strategies, though. What strategies can someone adopt to ensure that their brand grows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before I get to strategy, people miss strategy with plan. And I want
Tell us about that.
I want to put it in a simple way for people to understand, because I think most business owners, most entrepreneurs come to me and they're like, "Oh, I need to build my business. Can you help me get a business plan? Or can you help me have a plan to build my business?" Meanwhile, what they're really talking about is they need a strategy, right? So a strategy. So I want to use something that is very relative. Let's say we are making stew, right? The strategy to making to make the stew is to what kind of ingredients am I supposed to get? What am I supposed to do to get
Like at what
to
point are you
to
adding
prepare?
this, are you
Yeah,
doing that? Okay.
to get into preparing my stew.
Okay.
That is the strategy.
Okay.
You're looking at, okay, I need a ladle. I need a small saucepan. I need a plate. I need this. That is the strategy. Now the plan is following the recipe. Like, what do I put in? What do I put in next?
After
What?
that,
Yeah.
Okay.
So with that said, coming on social media, what the first question you should ask yourself is, what do I want to be known for?
Yeah.
What do I want to be known for? Do I want to be known for okay, do I want people to see me and be like, okay, that's the brand coach? As part of planning my vision for 2025, one of the things that I was asking myself, even before I set my goals, I was like, 2025, what do I really want people to know me for? Even though people know me to be a business and brand coach, what do I want them to say about me?
Okay.
Strategy. Who are my target audience? Who do I want to talk to? Who do I want to? Every post, tell you what, is speaking to a particular person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I could relate to when she said, you post and no one is seeing it. But seriously speaking, people would eventually look for it and see it. There are videos that I've posted that don't do well, but those are the videos that are bringing me money. Like, people will see it and be like, oh, I saw this video of yours. It was very informative. I would want to work with you. So whatever you put out there, who are you targeting?
The
You
money
can't.
aspect.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
You can't speak to everyone. That is the problem of social media. You can't
Say that again.
You can't speak to everyone. You can't satisfy everybody. Not everybody online is your customer. And I always say that if you want to know a cheap brand from a good brand, it is who they are speaking to.
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because if you know who you are speaking to, you know what ticks them. You know their language. You know how to talk to them. I've been trying this thing on my social media, my gifts business. I write, we reply in less than 3 minutes. And that we reply in less than 3 minutes has got me so much business. I'm like, someone actually sent me a message and said, I hope you reply in less than 3 minutes.
And
we did. Like,
less than
because
3
I have like my socials logged in on to 3 phones. So if this is off, the other one is on. And we make sure that we are doing that because it's a bragging right. Yeah.
Putting out there.
And it gets us business. Someone will text me around like 12 p.m. at night, 12 a.m., 1 a.m. And I will still get to chatting with them if I'm not asleep. I know, right? I work with people outside the country, so the times are different.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and if they get me, that's when I've made the most money. Don't even...
Because they're excited to know that you're actually living.
And they're not bargaining with you.
Wow.
Within those times, because they know that it's not possible. Most Ghanaian business owners, once it's 8 p.m., they've closed.
Yeah.
So that is the time I'm making my most money. Like, recently, a client just texted me, oh, can you deliver this tomorrow morning? I was like, yes. Price. Give the Momo number. I was like, energy. You need to know who you're speaking to. You need to know what these people want.
Okay.
And these are the little things you have to pay attention to getting on social media in the first place.
Okay.
As a business owner, as a professional, as an entrepreneur, whoever you are, to get on social media, you need to know these kind of things.
The basics.
Okay. And that is the strategy. Before you put your plan together. So your plan is the content you're actually going to put
out
online. I have my plan on social media, I post about only 4 things, and I call them content themes. So when you come on every social media of mine, you realize that I'm talking about entrepreneurship, personal branding, business growth, and then lifestyle. These 4 things. You won't find me talking about any other thing. And that's how, when Myra said, oh, if I need you to come on the show to talk about love, I said, Myra, I beg you. I beg you.
Love is
Me and love, we don't.
do not
Exactly. It's not my brand.
Yeah.
And this is to say that a lot of content creators are putting themselves out there, but they do not even know what they're identified for. Yeah.
Pick a niche.
I was going to get to you to also talk about the whole social media stuff and how to ensure that someone's brand grows and all of, because you've been in the space as well. Mind adding something to it?
Okay, so first of all, I think that if you want to be a creator, you should pick a niche. People would listen to you more if you pick a particular thing that you want to do. I would listen to what a food critique tells me over somebody who today is doing fashion, tomorrow is doing makeup, another day is doing makeup.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like, can you pick a side? Do you understand? It's like there are people who are fashion creators. They can piece something together so well. You, even though you were not originally planning to even get what they were wearing, you see it and you're like, oh no, this is so good. Yeah. I mean, once in a while you could create something out of what you usually do. But I think as a creator, in order to be taken more seriously, if you have a niche, it helps. So you'd realize that most of the creators that are doing well, most of the creators that have numbers for the work they are doing, have a particular niche. They are either doing food content, or they are doing lifestyle, or they are doing fashion, they are doing tech.
Right.
If you pick a side, it's easier to specialize in it. It's easier to get people to listen to.
Further.
Exactly. It's easier to get people to listen to what you're saying because you know what you're about.
Okay.
But it's not like today you are coming to talk to us about makeup.
Tomorrow I can
Exactly. You are coming to, all over the place. And another thing is, you might think it's just social media, but it's not. Like Miss Ifya said,
don't say
somebody somebody lost a job because of the kind of things that they were posting.
Yes,
and I'm sure the person thought that it was just social media, but the internet is a digital footprint. Whatever you post,
I never forget.
the internet will never forget it.
Yeah.
And so when you're posting certain things, you should be sure that in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years,
I defend
when
this,
I see this thing, I won't look back and say, what the hell was I doing?
Did
I'm
I
so
just
sorry.
post? No, that's fine. But
But
let's chip in a few messages as well. So that's our auntie Akusia. Very down to earth, beautiful inside out. It's coming from Akumayas. I believe there are a few of the submissions that you've done. And then also want to find, I think I was asking earlier, what do you think will make a brand want to associate themselves to another brand? Let me ask that, let me throw that to you, Miss Ifya.
Oh, this particular question has been my biggest problem as a coach.
Okay.
Seriously, because
People come to you with that question?
more of they come to me with a concern.
Okay.
Who are we bringing on board to work with?
Right.
Currently, I work with a brand outside Ghana, and we are actually trying to even pick influencers to work with. And
I'll be taking your number.
I was going to say that. Like,
actually, for the people who live in US and then the white people and the Asians, actually. Yeah. But then, when I was asked to look for people, one of the things that I was looking out for is what is this person telling us in relation to our brand? Can they relate to our brand? Okay. And a lot of us just go in for people with the numbers. Forgetting that your brand's association with this person, as I said, personal brand, it can cost you. Yeah. Me, if I've seen that you're a brand and you're working with a certain kind of person, and I feel like that person, it's not good on the society, please, I'm not even coming to buy from you. I don't want to be associated with you. That is the whole truth. So if you're choosing a brand, you're choosing someone to work with, an influencer, a brand, a content, a content creator, whoever it is, how is your brand relative to that person's brand? Okay. Are they related in any way? You will see that someone who sells bags has gone to take a food content creator to promote the bag. Like how?
It's like that's what I was saying.
It's so disturbing.
Yeah, you
because
see,
they're throwing money away.
Unfortunately, our time is running. So like, short. Because I have one last question that I have to ask you. Yeah. So I just add on quickly. Yeah.
Okay, so like just like what she was saying, as a brand, you should pick somebody who is aligning with the things. If you know you're a fashion house, you go with somebody who is into fashion, because people are more likely to listen to whatever that person has to say, as opposed to somebody who is always doing something every day. I'm not sure anybody would really want to take such an opinion very seriously, for lack of a better word. Yeah. I think more seriously, if there's a food critique or a food influencer who has gotten numbers from doing that, I'm more likely to take their opinion on a certain restaurant or food
because
brand.
They've been there, they've experienced them, so they know what you're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Quick
one more thing.
Okay.
Please, in your quest to pick influencers, in your quest to pick brand ambassadors, look at who you're associating with. Because now the whole, I work with this person and they did this to me and it's too much. And it's not good for brands.
It's not good for brands.
Yeah.
That's true. Quick one though. How do you know when you can monetize your personal brand? And 30 seconds.
Well, I think aKorfa should answer
aKorfa, you do that for me.
So really, like I said, when people want to be associated with you, some like me, I started a jewelry business some time ago, and you realize that people are more likely to purchase from you because they've seen what you do. People will see me wear a type of earring and say, where did you get this earring from? And so if I come and I tell you that I'm selling earrings, you know that, you have good taste in jewelry. And so I'd like to get. So it's like you've built a really good personal brand for yourself. And so if you're telling people that, trust me, I got this from here, people are more likely to listen to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Ifya, so I'm changing your question for you. As a business owner, how can your personal brand elevate your business?
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go far.
It was the sign for me.
Yeah, I'm not going to go far. Scam. You see how now people are complaining about people scamming them every day, and people don't feel comfortable buying things online. So this is what I do. When you come to me, I'm like, are you sure you're not going to scam me? I'll just tell you to type my name on Google.
Yeah.
Energy.
I'm Googleable.
Yeah. Like, type my name on Google. I'm coming up. Read about me. And then go to my personal page. You will see that I am not taking your money anywhere. You can find me when you're looking for me. So that is the simplest way your personal brand can even reflect and help your business brand grow. That is the simplest way.
So make sure you leave some footprints online.
Yeah. I think as a business owner, you
should
even
need a
have
personal
a face
brand
behind your so it just like boosts confidence. If somebody is coming and know that this shoe brand belongs to aKorfa, they are more likely to buy from this brand because they know it's not a scam. They know the face behind. So if possible, on your Instagram, you can just write that your personal page is this, just so people know that we can hold such a person accountable for this. People will be more comfortable.
And it's allowed me. People have given me millions of CDs and they've never met me.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I'll be tapping into the millions of CDs. Thank you so much, Miss Ifya Chumwaba, for she's a business growth and personal branding coach. And also thank you going out to you, aKorfa Saribu, actress and content creator. I really, really wish we could have a part 2, honestly. But we'll look into it. We'll look at Myra. Yeah, we'll look into it. But thank you so much for being a part of today's conversation. This has been Strong and Sassy. My name is aKorfa. Thanks going out to you for tuning in, and also to Mirabel Johnson. The news is up. Right after that is The Overdrive. Keep listening to Joy 99.7 FM.
8 o'clock.